Welcome back to the Ghosty Girls podcast. I'm Christina.
I'm Alicia. Hi.
Hi.
All my fidgets have been taken away and I'm not happy about it.
Anytime we record, Alicia sits here and fidgets with anything that's in front of her, and it drives me fucking bonkers.
And now I have slime sand in my eye.
Just anything. She will fidget with a pen. She'll fidget with just anything. And she has a big thing of beads sitting in. Oh my god. She has a big thing of beads sitting in front of her, and she's like, I'm just going to make bracelets while you're podcasting. I'm like, no.
By the way, Chili's might be out and Moe's might be in.
Yeah. We had a better lunch at Moe's today than we've had at Chili's.
For a very long time, actually.
Last time we got Chili's, it sucked.
Everything today was very fresh.
It was at Moe's, yeah.
Delicious.
Gotta go to Moe's. No,
Gotta go to Moe's. That's a sports store, but it's fine.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today? I missed you.
Yeah, we haven't seen each other in a while.
I know.
We batch recorded because I was supposed to be in a trial for like 2 to 3 weeks, but it literally settled like right as I was packing my suitcase to leave.
And I'm very sad because I did not get to watch Khaleesi. I'm glad for you. I'm sad for me.
Yeah, it would have been a lot. I'm still like emotionally and mentally drained from it.
Like, she is, man. It took her like a week and a half just to be able to breathe again.
Yeah,
even though she didn't go.
Yeah, I didn't really talk to anybody. I didn't answer like any messages or anything. People were like, "Hey, like, are you mad at me?" And I'm like, I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at everything. I'm mad at the world. I just need to.
And that's okay.
I just need to be. I spent an entire day just bed rotting. Just laying in bed.
That's okay.
It was glorious.
You deserve it.
Yeah. It was great. But, now on to the next. And, work never ends. It never ends. It's just it's a never-ending cycle until you are 6 feet in the ground or
retired, at least, maybe.
Our generation will never retire.
It's
We're
true.
Millennials. We are literally they're going to be lowering us into the casket and asking us where our time card is.
That's fair. Yeah, you're right. We've got no more 401ks or retirement. It's all been spent on trying to buy a house.
We've got nothing, okay?
Nada.
People are struggling.
Listen, my car just died. We talked
Bess.
about this not too long ago. Bessie's in the hospital, guys. Pray for her. Her bald spot will not be fixed, however.
Bessie needs to be cremated. She's done.
Listen.
I'm sorry. Bessie has...
I need 50,000 more miles out of her, and I've hit 200,000, and I'm golden. And I won't sing the song, even though I want to.
Is Bessie going to make it that long?
I don't know. I mean, I'm paying $775 for a new radiator, so hopefully she will make it.
That's all that's wrong with her?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
My girl was smoking the other day. Like, she had that. She has the, what's it called? Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
Bronchitis. She got a bronchitis.
Poor Bessie.
Poor Bessie. God bless her little baby heart.
Yeah. Well, speaking of how rough times are.
Oh, no.
Today we're taking it back to a simpler time. We're going back to the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah. A time that people look back on and think about how much simpler and safer life was.
And Lisa Frank.
Yeah. But even still, bad things did happen in the 90s.
No.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, some of the hairstyles.
Stuttered. I was like, it. Yeah. I know we all want to be nostalgic and look at the 90s through like heart-shaped rose-colored glasses.
Because we all had them.
Yeah. But some pretty horrific cases took place in the 90s, and this is unfortunately one of them.
Great.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I know. We always talk about how you're the light and I'm the dark. You're good cop, I'm bad cop.
I know.
I wonder if people skip my episodes because they're always like about like the worst of the worst.
No, I think people enjoy your episodes better than mine because shit actually happens. I'm like, guys, they stole a bunch of maple syrup at the end. People are like, what the fuck was that? What did we just listen to? Cancel.
You know what, though? Before we get into this, guys, we need your help.
Please.
We have an opportunity, but we're not going to be able to get there unless we get some more streams per month. So please share our podcast with all of your friends, your family, anybody. If you're crossing somebody on the street, be like, yo, you heard of the Ghosty Girls? No? Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you today.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell everybody. All right. Once we get to a certain number, we're going to have a really sweet opportunity coming our way.
And we will, of course, be able to share that opportunity with you.
Yes, but we can't right now because we got to get there first.
And we're poor.
We got to get there.
Also, if you would like, we can even send you business cards that have QR codes if you're willing to like put them somewhere that you work or have somewhere that accepts them. We will mail you business cards to put out.
Seriously. I mean, we won't, obviously we won't charge you anything, but we'll send you a little card and stuff and
with some stickers.
Yeah. Just, we have to get more listens to get to a level that we need to be at for this opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And we have like 3 months to do it. We're giving ourselves a timeline.
Oh, it's 3 months? Okay. Well, we didn't discuss that in our meeting, but
now it's 3 months.
3 months. So yeah, just tell everybody.
Please.
Tell everybody. Okay.
We love you. Thank you. Pretty please.
Yeah.
We need your help. Help us.
And again, shoot us a message if you would be willing to like give out, and you could go to a restaurant and just put, how you go into like a restaurant or a place and people have their business cards and stuff, like you can put it there.
Just don't start putting them in those business bowls where people call you for opportunities.
We don't have any opportunities.
Yeah, you're right. We're not at that level. Have them call us.
But yeah, we're trying to get to a level and we're close, but we're not there yet.
So close.
Yeah.
Yet so far away.
We need
that
your
was the
help.
90s.
Was it?
I don't know.
What song was that? You made that up.
So close, yet so far away. Daryl and Oates.
Hall and Oates?
Yeah.
Okay.
How come whenever I sing that to people, sometimes I get blank stares?
Because people know Hall and Oates, but I feel like that's not one of their like mainstream songs, right?
That's a jam though. I'm going to send it to you so you have it.
That's fine. I've never heard it. That's why I stared at you like you had titties growing out of your forehead, because
I do.
Well, yeah, fair
We'd
enough.
We'd have more downloads if I did though.
Tits out for the ghosty girls.
Tits up on your forehead.
Remember how they were like, what was the gorilla's name? Oh my God, how do you say his name? The gorilla that got shot.
Haribo.
No,
that's
Harambe.
Harambe.
Harambe?
Yeah.
And remember how people were like, tits out for Harambe?
Poor
Tits
Harambe.
out for the ghosty girls.
Should we have a minute of silence?
They say, there's conspiracy theorists out there that say that that's like the literal moment when the entire timeline shifted and went to shit.
I agree.
So we're going back to the 90s, November 3rd, 1998.
Excellent.
Yeah. In a small neighborhood named Lakewood in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh no, we're in Florida.
We're in Florida.
Damn it.
And just to set the scene a little bit, Lakewood was a safe suburban community. Everybody knew everyone. Kids played outside together all the time. You'd always see kids like out riding their bikes. Parents watched their kids play. Neighbors all kept an eye on each other. It was known to be a very safe neighborhood. And this is where the Clifton family, consisting of mom Sheila, dad Stephen, and their two young daughters, 11-year-old Jessie and 8-year-old Maddie, resided. Maddie's nickname was Giggles. And she was known to be a sweet, kind little girl who loved to play the piano and was also a bit of a tomboy. She absolutely adored her older sister, Jessie, and the two of them were very, very close. As many kids of the 90s did, Jessie and Maddie were often outside playing for hours upon hours at a time with little to no supervision. And I cannot stress enough how different the 90s were from today. Like back in the 90s, it was not uncommon at all for kids to leave the house in the morning on a summer day or on a weekend and literally not come back until they were ready for dinner.
Yep.
Like,
when the street lights came on.
That's when you went home. Yeah. So for our younger listeners, please don't put any blame on the parents for any of this, for anything that I'm about to talk about, because again, this was totally normal in the 90s. Not saying it was right, but it was normal. Okay.
It was. I lived it.
November 3rd, 1998. Maddie Clifton comes home from school at 4:30 p.m. She practices the piano for a bit, and she goes outside to play, as she often did. Her 11-year-old sister, Jessie, was also outside playing with the neighborhood kids. This was just an ordinary day, 6:20 comes along. Maddie's mother, Sheila, has dinner ready for the girls, and she yells outside for them that dinner's ready. Jessie comes running in for dinner. No Maddie. Sheila asks Jesse where Maddie is, and Jesse tells her that they were playing separately, which again was normal, and she didn't know where Maddie was. So Sheila goes outside and she calls for Maddie. Again, nothing. It's at this point that Sheila starts to panic. She begins going door to door, knocking on all of her neighbors' doors, asking if they've seen Maddie. No one has any idea where she is.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, Sheila calls 911 to report Maddie missing. The police get there pretty quickly, and everyone in the neighborhood really chipped in and came together to start looking for Maddie, including the other children of the neighborhood. They search everywhere all throughout the night. Nothing. No trace of Maddie whatsoever. She's just gone. Yeah.
That's my nightmare.
2 of my nightmares happen in this podcast episode. That's my first one. I'll tell you my second one when we get to it, because that one's bad too. The second one literally makes my heart like palpitate.
Ugh.
We'll get there. But it's bad.
Okay.
So the following day, police begin to question neighbors, and they find out some information that was a little disturbing. So apparently, also living in the neighborhood was an older man by the name of Larry Grisham, and he was known in the neighborhood for playing with the kids and teaching them how to hit golf balls in his yard. Police end up doing a little digging on this man, and they find that he has a prior criminal record, including 2 arrests for sexual battery. Now, both charges were ultimately dropped, but it's still not a good look, right?
No.
Not a good look at all.
No.
And you know what else is not a good look? The fact that Larry agreed to take a polygraph test, which he ultimately failed.
Oh, great.
Yep. Larry also admitted that he had been hitting golf balls with Maddie that day, but that they had run out of balls and she left to go home and he hadn't seen her since. Seems a little fishy, right?
Just a little sus.
Yeah. Investigators search Larry's home multiple times. They search his property for any signs of foul play, but they find nothing. And Larry is adamant that he has done nothing to this little girl. So with no confession and no physical evidence, police have nothing to go on. So the search and investigation continues. The Cliftons end up offering a $50,000 reward for any information leading to the return of Maddie. And then that ends up doubling to $100,000 for any information that leads them to Maddie being brought home alive and safe. The FBI gets involved, and even America's Most Wanted offered to air the case to help get more attention.
That's good.
Yeah, I believe that the parents did go on, I want to say Good Morning America. Like, this was a high profile case.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a missing little white girl, you know, in a suburban area.
Yep.
Police also find out that Maddie had been seen with a little neighbor boy, 14-year-old Joshua Phillips. And they question him and his family, and they also search their home multiple times. And again, they find nothing. A week goes by with no sign of Maddie. On November 10th, 1998, Melissa Phillips, the mother of 14-year-old Joshua Phillips, is cleaning the house. And we all know how gross a teenage boy's room can get, right? So she decides to go into his room to clean it up. I mean, he's a 14-year-old boy. You know his ass isn't going to clean it up on his own.
No, 100% no.
So she's going around the room. She's picking up trash. It smells funky in there because it's a teenage boy's room. It's probably got old food and stuff in there. But as she gets close to Josh's bed, she sees a wet spot on the floor. And she's like, oh shit, his waterbed must be leaking. And that's
the waterbeds.
Yeah, and that's probably where the smell is coming from, because God only knows how long that water has been in the mattress for, right?
Gross.
Yeah. So she bends down to inspect the waterbed, and she sees that the base of the waterbed is being held together with tape. So she's like, what in the actual fuck is going on here? And I guess I should explain like this waterbed situation because it is kind of weird. So I guess like where the space between the mattress and the base is, there's like a space that was almost like a storage compartment. Like,
okay.
You could like, I guess, pull one of the
like
boards
a
back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Melissa pulls the base part off that's being held together by tape for whatever reason, and she sees a sock.
Oh,
She
man.
also notices that the smell is like a million times worse now that she is like bending into this enclosed area. So she reaches in, she pulls on the sock, nothing, won't budge. So she keeps pulling and pulling and eventually finds out that the reason that the sock is not moving is because it's actually attached to a human foot. This is my second worst fear, finding a dead body in my house that I didn't know about. So Melissa starts freaking out. She's crying, she's screaming, she's in total shock. She just found a fucking dead body underneath her son's bed while she was cleaning his room. I can't even fucking imagine. I can't even imagine.
No.
That literally makes my heart palpitate. You're cleaning your son's room and you find a dead body hidden under the bed.
What do you do? I mean, you call the cops, obviously,
Well,
but like...
Melissa runs out of the house to flag down a police officer because at that point, even though Maddie had gone missing a week prior, police were still heavily present in the area. I read in one of my sources that they actually had a police officer stay at the Clifton house because their 11-year-old daughter, Jessie, was like just so scared that somebody was going to come back and take her too. Oh. And I guess they wanted to like make her feel safe. Yeah. So I thought that was like a really cool detail.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So, I mean, police were definitely patrolling the area and they see this woman come running up to them. She's all frazzled. She's like in total shock. She can barely speak. And she basically like gestures towards her house and she's like, I found something in my house. You have to come. The police officers follow her. Actually, I want to take a moment to say that although we shouldn't have to praise someone for an action like finding a dead body in your son's room and directly going straight to the police, but unfortunately we lived in a fucked up world where people like Brian Laundrie's parents exist. If you're not familiar with the Gabby Petito case, she was murdered by her boyfriend and then his parents helped cover up for him. There are some parents that I feel may have disposed of the body and not even said anything. Yeah. I mean, if his mother wouldn't have gone to the police, they may have never figured out what happened to Maddie, right? I mean, just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
So Josh's mom did not cover for her son. So, I mean, I will give props where props are due. Like, she ran right outside and got the police. So officers go into the house. They're guided up to Josh's room. And they are immediately hit in the face with the unmistakable smell of decomp. Ugh. On the floor, they see a small pair of feet clad in white socks sticking out from underneath the bed frame of the waterbed, and a puddle of liquid on the floor that I'm sure at this point you all can assume that it was not, in fact, leaking water from the waterbed. It was bodily fluids. Yes, because remember, she had been under that bed for 7 days at that point.
7 days. I can't.
They also saw pieces of tape all over the floor, and that was actually the tape that Melissa had pulled from off of the bed because someone had pulled pieces of the frame off the bed to store the body and then used the tape to place them back together on the bed frame. Investigators immediately rope off the room as a crime scene, and they begin their search of the room. They find a bunch of bottles of Febreze and other various odor eliminators, and I'm sure you all can guess what that may have been for. And they also found a baseball bat and a knife. They pull the body out, and they see that the body is nude from the waist down, and the shirt is pulled up. Immediately, they know that they are looking at the body of the missing 8-year-old girl, Maddie Clifton. A detective is then sent out to Josh's school to go pick him up and take him to the police station for questioning. And one quote that I read from Josh's mom really stuck out to me. She said that she knew as soon as she saw the dead body under the bed that it was Maddie's. And their houses are directly across the street from each other. So as she was running outside to go get a police officer, she had a thought in her mind and was like, oh my God, any minute now, they're going to know that their daughter's dead. She said that was what was going through her mind when she ran outside.
I mean, that's a kind soul right there. She's, you know, worrying about the other family more than her own. That's a nod to her character, I should say.
So now we're going to pivot to Joshua Phillips. Joshua Phillips was born on March 17th, 1984, to parents Melissa and Steve Phillips in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So pretty local to us. They eventually relocated to Florida. And I don't think that they were in the neighborhood for that long before all of this went down. So I'm sure that this will not be shocking to anyone that Joshua, also known as Josh, had a pretty shitty upbringing.
Wow.
Yeah, as we so often see in these cases. Josh's dad, Steve, and this might be a little confusing because Josh and Maddie's fathers had the same name, Steve. So just want to point that out in case it sounds a little redundant. Both of their names were Steve. So Josh's father, Steve, was a violent alcoholic and also a drug addict. And it's said that both Josh and his mother, Melissa, were deathly afraid of Steve and that they lived their lives walking on eggshells as to not anger him.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah, weird little fact that I feel is relevant later on is that Steve, for whatever reason, absolutely hated little girls. He didn't want them around. He didn't want them in his home. He didn't want his son playing with them. He just flat out did not like little girls. Like Melissa at one point said that when she was pregnant with Josh, that he was just like praying that it wasn't a girl. He was like, this can't be a girl. It has to be a boy. Again, seems like an irrelevant detail, but it kind of comes into play later.
I think it sounds like a very relevant detail because, I mean, if he hates little girls, he's going to push that onto other people that
could be. But
maybe.
I think there's another reason, but you'll find out.
Okay.
Although friends, neighbors, and schoolmates described Josh as a funny but quiet child, there were some red flags, if you will. Not anything like super glaring, but red flags nonetheless. According to my sources, Josh had developed a little fixation on Maddie's 11-year-old sister, Jessie, and he allegedly would discuss things of a sexual nature to the little girls. So remember, this boy is 14 at the time. Not sure if I said that or not, but Josh is 14 years old at the time. The oldest sister, Jessie, is 11. Maddie is 8. So Maddie's the same age as our children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just put that into perspective.
No.
I also read that a family photo of Jessie was found later on in Josh's room, and this picture was apparently stolen out of the Clifton house. So I don't know if he went in there to like play with the girls, and unclear as to how he got that picture, but the family like verified that it was from their house. He also had a fixation on watching violent pornography on the family computer. And I think we've talked about this before on a podcast, but pornography, there's studies that basically state that it changes your brain chemistry. Again, this is a 14-year-old boy watching violent pornography. Not good okay. mix. Violent pornography really isn't even good for an adult male to look at. An impressionable 14-year-old male brain.
Any pornography, I feel like.
Yeah.
Honestly, for a 14-year-old, come on.
They don't even understand.
They don't get it.
But anyway, it's unclear if his parents were aware of him viewing pornography or not.
Yeah.
But back in the 90s, parents didn't really pay attention to what their kids were doing online.
Because all that mental stuff and like awareness of what anything could do to you was not realized back then, if you will.
Correct. And I don't think that people really had a grasp of what the internet actually was. And I don't think a lot of parents knew that there were pictures of dead bodies online or pornography or like, I've said this before. I used to look at pictures of dead bodies on rotten.com. I shouldn't have been doing that when I was his age and younger, but I did.
Yeah. Man,
the 90s were a different time.
The 90s were something.
They really were. Yeah. So, yeah, again, we don't know if his parents knew that this was happening, but it is something that did come out later in the investigation. So Josh is taken to the police station after he's picked up from school. And shockingly, he immediately confesses to killing Maddie. He doesn't deny it. But he insists that he didn't mean to do it.
Okay.
He tells investigators that he and Maddie had been playing baseball in his backyard that day and that he accidentally hit her in the face with a baseball. Important to note that he specifically said that he hit her in the area of her left eye, so on her face. Okay, this is what he's saying.
Okay.
Josh said that Maddie immediately started loudly crying, and Josh began to panic because remember, his father hated little girls. He didn't want Josh playing with little girls, specifically girls that were younger than him. So Josh was afraid that if his father found out, he would really be in the shit for having a little girl playing in his backyard.
Ugh.
Yeah. So, and this is according to Josh, he drags Maddie into the house, drags her into his bedroom, and this is how he said she lost her shorts and her underwear from dragging her. I guess the dragging motion pulled them off of her. Okay. He then took his baseball bat and beat her in the head with it so that she would stop crying, and then shoved her underneath the waterbed in that compartment.
Okay.
This is according to Joshua. Okay. Now, this is the part that really fucks me up. Josh's father, Steve, came home from work and was apparently unaware that anything was going on. So he's just sitting there talking to Josh about his day when Josh realizes that he can hear heavy breathing coming from his room. His dad, for whatever reason, didn't notice it. So Josh excuses himself from the conversation, goes back to his room, and he finds that Maddie is under his bed, still alive and struggling to breathe.
Stop.
Yeah. Yep. Josh said that he couldn't have his father seeing or hearing any of this, so he took a knife and he stabbed her in the lungs so that the heavy breathing would stop. Then, for 7 entire days, Maddie's body lay stuffed in the base of a waterbed while Josh slept in the bed and sprayed Febreze around the room to cover up the smell of Maddie's decomposing body. And if that's not fucked, I don't know what is.
He slept right on top of it.
Right on top of it. And sprayed Febreze.
Okay.
He's 14.
None of this is okay.
No, it's not. An autopsy conducted on Maddie's body confirmed that she had suffered 3 separate attacks, and it was a lot more brutal than what Josh had confessed to. First, there were no facial injuries near her left eye. So that story that Josh told investigators, that wasn't what really happened. During the first attack, Maddie was struck 3 times on her forehead and the top of her head with a blunt force object, presumably the baseball bat. These injuries were so extreme that the medical expert for the state testified that just these injuries alone would have been fatal in about 30 minutes. So she would have died in 30 minutes just from the blows to her head. The second attack was a knife wound to her neck, and he slit her throat. Okay. This caused her to essentially drown on her own blood.
No.
The third and final attack was the stab wounds to her chest and abdomen. 9 to be exact.
9?
9 stab wounds to her chest and abdomen.
Oh.
And it was proven that the stab wounds had occurred post-mortem. So she was already dead, and he stabbed her 9 times. So obviously the story of him stabbing her in the lungs to get her to stop making the loud breathing noises,
Not true.
Nope.
Unless that was all in his head because he's a psycho.
Yeah, this was a brutal attack. And probably the most disturbing part was the fact that Maddie's hand was found clutched on a bracket of the waterbed, which indicated that she was still alive when he had shoved her into that compartment under the bed.
That breaks my heart.
I know. Interestingly, despite Maddie being found nude from the waist down, there was no evidence of a sexual assault. Which I found that strange.
Yeah.
But also, you can have a sexual assault and have no physical signs of it.
And you have to think the stuff that it's reported that he was watching.
Yeah.
I mean,
I believe one of them was cheerleader brutality, and it was girls that looked kind of young in cheerleading outfits and stuff. It's kind of sketchy.
Real sketch.
Yeah. So with all of this evidence and also Josh's confession, it was pretty cut and dry that Josh had brutally murdered Maddie Clifton. Josh's trial proceeded a year after the murder in 1999, which is pretty quick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, a year later. Yeah.
Yeah. That's quick.
And he was ultimately tried as an adult.
Good.
15 at the time. The defense team had a pretty surprising strategy. They did not call any defense witnesses. They called no defense witnesses in a fucking murder trial. Now it's common, and I've even said this before, you shouldn't testify on your own behalf in a murder trial.
You have said that before.
It's not good. But they didn't have him testify. They didn't have his parents testify.
Literally
no one. Literally no one. And even the prosecution, I know, even the prosecution was like, bold strategy, Cotton. I wonder how it's going to play out.
Yeah. Good luck.
Dodgeball reference there. But yeah, the prosecution was like, are you fucking serious? Like, okay, slam dunk for us. Like,
yeah.
Anywho, one detail that I found a little disturbing was that I guess they had Josh evaluated, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was on an MRI or a CAT scan, but it was on some kind of scan where they found evidence of a brain injury.
Oh.
The judge ruled that was not admissible in court.
Good.
But still, it's a brain injury. Yeah. And we've seen that brain injuries can cause that type of behavior, especially in children, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I do feel that that's relevant. That's relevant.
It's relevant, especially at such a young age.
It is.
I mean, because their brain develops a lot slower as a male and because of the age.
Right.
But if you throw an injury on top of that, but at the same time, that judge probably just wanted to get this kid off the freaking street.
Probably. I would agree with that. And maybe this is just like the defense side of me coming out. Yeah. But I do feel that in order for a jury to see the full picture, you need to be presented with everything.
Yeah.
And I do feel that that's relevant. I'm not saying that he isn't where he belongs today, but I do believe that that's relevant information that could have impacted the sentencing at the very least.
It could have. Not that I know what the sentence is.
But what do I know? I'm just some bitch. So instead, the defense team pretty much only relied upon their closing argument, stating that Josh was, quote, not a monster, but that he murdered Maddie, quote, because of an act that began as an accident and deteriorated through panic that bordered on madness, end quote.
Oh, okay.
His attorneys suck. I'm just going to say that right now.
Sounds like it.
I would have been livid if I were his parents, and actually his mom was. His mom...
rightly so. That ruins not only his life, but the entire family's life, credibility, all of it.
It does, yeah. It does, yeah.
That's a lot.
So again, just, to remind you, he's 15 years old at this time. And he is ultimately found guilty of the first-degree murder of Maddie Clifton and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And at that time, that was the maximum sentence for someone of his age.
Okay.
But in 2012, and I think we've talked about this on the podcast before, correct me if I'm wrong, but if not, just a refresher. In 2012, a Supreme Court ruling found mandatory life sentences for juveniles to be unconstitutional, which meant that Josh needed to be resentenced by the state of Florida. So there was a little bit of hope for him, but despite Josh and his family being hopeful for a more lenient sentence, in 2017, Josh received yet another life sentence, but with the possibility of a review after 25 years.
Okay.
Now, of course, this is going to spark some debate because on one hand, we have a child whose brain is not fully developed, okay? And then on the other hand, we have a very brutal murder at the hands of said child. What do you even do in this type of situation? And for me, personally, I feel like you have to look at circumstances, right? It's all about circumstances.
100%.
And these are the two that really jumped out at me. Number one, Josh was 14. Even though he's underage, that is clearly old enough to know that killing someone is wrong.
Right.
Number two, there were 3 separate attacks. if what he said happened was what really happened and she was injured by accident with a baseball, he had time to get help. Okay.
Correct.
But let's play devil's advocate here. Maybe he was scared of his father's reaction. Maybe he was scared that he would get in trouble for hurting Maddie. That takes care of the first attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he still chose to attack her 2 other times.
Her little hand was gripping the bed. Like,
there was plenty of time for him to get help or even just leave her there. But instead, he chose to attack her not only a second time, but a third time.
After she was already dead.
Correct. I personally don't even believe that any of this happened outside in the yard, because if it did, someone would have heard something. There were neighbors outside that day. Someone would have certainly heard a little girl screaming her head off after being hit and injured with a baseball, right? I mean, Josh even said she was screaming loudly.
See, I don't believe
someone
any of
would
it.
have heard that.
That's the thing.
Also, there was no blood found in the yard.
Was there blood in her house?
In his room.
Did he
there was
bring
no
her?
no blood
Okay.
outside. And also, you remember how he said that he had dragged her from the grass outside upstairs?
Yes.
There were like no drag marks in the yard, and there was also no dirt or no grass on her body. Wouldn't you think that you would have like some kind of like a dirt mark or something on the clothes?
Find her pants and whatnot?
Yes, they were underneath her, under the bed.
Okay. Sorry if you did say that.
No, I didn't.
All right. Where did it happen? Do we know?
What I think, Josh says that it happened outside and it was an accident. What I personally think is that he somehow lured her into his bedroom and it happened in there.
That's kind of what I'm feeling too. Like there's no way.
Yeah, someone would have heard her screaming. He could have beat her outside and just beat her unconscious, but still, the dragging. There was no evidence that she was dragged.
I wonder if he snuck her inside and they were playing and his dad came home and he was like, oh shit, you got to get out of my house, and thought that was the best way.
Maybe, but I think the timelines kind of matched up so that like they were able to determine that the father came home like after she had already been killed.
I hate this case.
I know. It's crazy.
It breaks my heart. But I mean, in a weird statement, at least the family has closure. It's not like missing and
Yeah. In the aftermath of Maddie's murder, Maddie's parents ultimately divorced shortly after the trial, and that's very common. We've seen this in other cases. It's a very traumatic life event to go through, and many relationships just can't withstand that level of stress, right? Josh's mother and father had some disagreements, not only about how the defense team argued their son's case, because I guess Steve was just kind of like, let them do their thing. They're lawyers. They know best. And his mom was like, no, like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
But also, Steve had some, quote, misdirected anger and grief at the Clifton family, according to Melissa. And she stated that Steve was just really angry at Maddie's family.
The hell did they do?
I know. Like, he had no business to be angry with them. Like, your son killed their little girl. Thank you and goodbye. Like, what the...
Yeah, no.
You're angry because your son killed their daughter, so you're mad at them for having a daughter, but also he hated little girls, so he probably did think it was her fault. Steve, however, is no longer struggling with his anger because he died in a car accident in Tallahassee, Florida in the year 2000, which was just months after the trial. And the circumstances, I thought, were a little strange. In the articles that I read, it was a one-vehicle car accident in which his van just veered off the road for an unknown reason, and he was thrown out of the car and died on impact. Do you think he may have done that on purpose?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And it was only a couple months after his son had been sentenced to life in prison.
Yeah. And he was an addict and all
He was
that
an
other
addict.
stuff
He was an
too.
alcoholic, violent.
Yeah.
So the world is better off is all I'm saying.
I mean,
You can come for me all you want on that. I don't give a fuck.
nope, I agree.
Something's wrong with you if you hate little girls.
And we never found a reason.
No. Nope.
I bet one bullied him when he was little.
Maybe he was like an incel.
Maybe.
Ugh. But anyway, I stand by what I said. The world is better for it.
And you know what? His mom probably feels way more safe too.
Oh, I'm sure, because everything I read was like he was an angry person. He was, a violent alcoholic. They were living on eggshells with him. I can't imagine that she was that upset over it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Since his conviction, Josh has been pretty active in prison, even taking college courses to complete his paralegal certification, and he now acts as a paralegal in prison, assisting his fellow inmates with their appeals.
Great.
I mean, I guess he made himself useful.
He was only 14. That's what I'm going to keep telling myself.
I know. He also plays guitar in a prison band and has found faith in Christianity. In 2025, Josh's case came up for review, but in July of 2025, Josh's lawyer requested that the hearing be postponed, which the judge agreed to. In a statement to News 4, Jacksonville, Florida, Maddie's mother, Sheila, said, quote, "Maddie didn't get a second chance. She didn't get to grow up, graduate, fall in love, or have a family of her own. Maddie's sentence was final. Her killers should be too." I agree with that.
I mean,
I think he's too dangerous to be in general pop. Ooh, I said what I said. I don't know.
I mean, he experienced all that at 14. There's no going back from that. Or is there? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not a psychiatrist.
For what it's worth, Josh does say that he is sorry for what happened, and he made a statement in court recently. I don't know if you want to hear it or not. I was going to play a little bit.
Sure.
And you can gauge if you think that he is truly sorry for what he did. All right, so here we go. This is Josh Phillips in court. And this is a statement to the court and also Maddie's family.
All right.
The family of Maddie Clifton. I've wanted to say this for a very long time, and I am grateful that this chance to do so in person has arrived. I don't pretend to know or understand your pain or to grasp a void that I have created in your lives. I can say this: I do understand pain. I have become quite intimate with suffering. Growing up in prison, I've seen many dark things, and I've been to some dark places. Many times throughout this journey, I came dreadfully close to ending my life just to escape it all. During these times, I was embroiled in a flurry of emotions and feelings. Guilt, despair, pain, hopelessness, fear, and shame. Each time, I was somehow able to continue on, mostly because I couldn't stand to put my mother through any more trauma. She's been through enough. There were times that I was angry at her because I couldn't end my pain because of her love. Yet now, I'm eternally grateful to her. I'm grateful to her because as I've grown up, I have learned the value of life. I've learned to see the beauty and joy in a world full of strife and experience the truth of unconditional love. I wish to God that I could have known this or understood it when I was 14. Had I then, none of this would have come about. I had no clue what life meant, what death meant, nor the depths of suffering that could follow one act. I had no inkling of how long that suffering could last. I hadn't lived long enough to understand the time involved or what really suffering was. I did something horrible. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for what happened. Even now, after all these years, it is just unfathomable that all this could have occurred. It tears my mind asunder to know that I stole such a precious life from you, from the world. so wish I could take away your pain. I thank God that I've been able to continue on in life and grow. But not a day goes by that I don't think of what led me to where I'm at. Not in prison, but in life. I pray every day that you're able to live your lives in spite of the injury I've caused you. I'm supremely grateful to have an opportunity at physical freedom. Any joy that arises in my heart is immediately tempered by the knowledge that these proceedings bring all involved once again, face to face with the horror that occurred in 1998. When I walked the rec yard here in chains, I looked at the sky through mesh wiring, and I thank God repeatedly for giving me hope. My next breath is always devoted to wishing peace and healing upon you all. My hopes, fears, and wishes probably mean nothing to you, but they are there all the same. May you know peace. May you be free from suffering. And may you feel the love that is the sustenance of life itself. May God bless you and heal your wounds as much as possible. Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, before you comment, what did you hear about Maddie in that?
That he took away a precious life.
Anything else?
No.
Or did you just hear a lot of I's, me's, and my's?
That's what I heard, yeah.
I don't think that he grasps the magnitude of what he did to another human being. I think that he grasps the magnitude of what he did to his own life.
Yeah.
But not what he did to another human being. That's where my problem lies with him. I don't think that he has any right to be out of prison because he clearly doesn't understand.
And that's probably why he is still in there.
Correct. What I would have liked to see, I would have liked to see him say, every day I wake up seeing her face and thinking of what her life could have been had I not taken it.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I think about the family that she could have had, the career she could have had,
right?
The grandchildren she could have had, the legacy that she could have left on this planet. I don't want to hear anything about him.
Mm-mm. Sorry.
I want to hear about the life you took.
Right. Sorry you're not having a great time, buddy.
I mean, you're in prison. Prison ain't fun. I want to feel sorry for him, but I just heard a lot of me's, my's, and I's. I didn't hear a lot about her or she or Maddie.
Yeah.
Because it's not even about her family, okay? I mean, it is about her family, obviously, but it's about her life that you took. It's about everything she could have been that you took away.
And it's like, oh, I wish I would have realized this so long ago. What? Like, no.
He doesn't understand what he did.
You should have known this before you did it. Like, I don't know. I don't know. You're right. I don't think he understands the magnitude.
Nope. I think that he's sorry that it happened, and I think he's sorry he's in prison, and he's sorry that his life is fucked. But I don't necessarily know if he's sorry for what he did. I don't think he has the mental capacity or the emotional capacity to even understand. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. This is just my opinion. I am but some bitch.
Some bitch.
But judging on his own words, I don't think he understands.
Yeah. I also don't think he understands. I think he feels bad for himself, and he realizes what could have been had he had not been such a little dipshit asshole.
What a stupid decision to make. Was it impulse control? Did he just have an intrusive thought that just made its way through because he's a child? Like, what? He had no history of violence before this. Nothing. No history of violence towards humans or animals. There were no red flags other than the sexual talk and the pornography stuff. That was it.
And the head trauma.
Yeah, and we don't even know how that happened.
Yeah.
But that's not really a quote unquote red flag because they didn't even know he had an injury. I mean, it could have.
Damn it.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with Joshua Phillips. He is now 42 years old. He's still in prison, living his best life, playing in the prison garage band and doing paralegal things. Maddie's family continues to advocate for Maddie and also to keep Josh behind bars. They are very, very, very adamant that he should never be released.
I agree with them.
Yeah. Maddie's sister Jessie actually purchased their childhood home, the one that sits directly across the street from the home where her sister's dead body was found. And Jessie actually finds comfort living in her childhood home. Aww. She said that some of her best childhood memories were in that house with her sister Maddie. Mm-hmm. And a little fun fact that I found in my research is that Jessie actually felt really bad for Josh's mom because I guess his mom didn't even want to come outside of the house because she was like just so ashamed of what happened. And I mean, rightfully so. I get it. I would fucking move the country.
Same.
But Jessie would see her outside bringing in her groceries and Jessie would actually help her carry them in, which I thought was really admirable because.
It's a kind soul.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the mom didn't do it. It's not her fault.
Right. But... And she did the right thing. She didn't try to cover up for her son.
Correct.
She didn't try to make excuses for him.
Right. You said initially, like, she wasn't even thinking about her or her son or her family. Yeah. She was thinking about, like, they're going to find this out.
Yes.
Soon.
They're going to find out that their daughter is dead in my house.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy story, man.
It's sad. I hate it.
It's very sad.
I know.
And it's so senseless. I just don't understand what fucking possessed him to do that.
Has anyone asked him? Like,
he still maintains that it was an accident.
There's no way.
I mean, I don't believe that, but that's what he maintains. Listen,
if he has really found Christianity and really truthfully believes in the good Lord and Jesus, like, put his hand on a Bible and say, tell me the truth. Only the truth will set you free.
So you're telling me because he's a Christian, he'll tell the truth?
No, but I'm saying... what I'm saying is, like,
he ain't gonna tell the truth.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, if he really is a devout Christian, he will. You know, if he's like, there's Christians and then there's like fake Christians. There's Christians that really try to live good and just do the best they can every day and try to be honest. And then there's Christians who say they're Christians and just are just shitty people.
Right.
And they make all the other ones look bad.
They do. You're right.
I know. I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say there.
I pick up what you're putting down.
Ooh, good, because it's not weights. I need to get my ass to the gym.
Oh, my God. Well, thanks for listening. As we stated in the beginning, please get the word out about our podcast.
Yes.
Just, you know, if you know anybody that listens to true crime, just be like, yo.
Yeah.
Decent podcast, I guess.
Pretty, like, should definitely be on your top 3 listen list.
It should. We're trying to get there. We just need you guys' help.
Yeah, if there's anything we can do different to get more followers that you have suggestions on, tell us.
Yeah, we're always looking at ways to, you know, get more followers and engage. We're doing well. We're doing well, but we're not where we want to be yet. Yeah. We're not where we need to be yet.
And that's okay.
We have goals. We're manifesting.
Yes.
But we need a little help. We get by with a little help from our friends.
And manifestation from our friends.
Yep. All right. Well, join us next week. Alicia is going to bring the story in for you.
It's not going to be crazy. Just kidding. It is. It's it's another whirlwind.
It's always crazy on the Ghosty Girls podcast.
I know.
That's what we do.
Speaking of ghosty, we actually need a few more paranormal stories too. Yeah. We actually, this is exciting. We have special guests lined up to come and talk.
Yeah.
And
it'll be a little bit. It's in the works because we still got to map out the episode and do logistics and scheduling and all that. But
September, October-ish, I think is going to be a good.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Because it's
especially
all,
for paranormal stuff.
Exactly.
And then we can do spooky season.
It's all wrapped around spooky season, which is our heart and passion and how we met. So
yeah.
Yay!
And, you know, we were just talking about how we kind of need to get back to our paranormal roots because we're We haven't done an investigation in a hot minute. I think we need to do some stuff.
Yeah.
I want to do a day trip to Gettysburg. I want to do Maggie's Bridge.
Yeah.
There's a few places that I want to do some EVP sessions. And I don't know if you guys are on the East Coast, if you think of any cool places, except Pennhurst, because Alicia will not go there.
I will not go there. Thank you. Goodbye.
Let us know.
To quote you, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye. But yeah, let us know.
I actually saw it was a TikTok or Facebook thing. I know we're trying to wrap this up. Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine.
I'm going to tell you anyway. It was a guy cleaning gravestones, like old gravestones.
Oh, I love those. Yeah.
And he has a spirit box and EVP going at the same time. And like people.
Do any of them thank him?
Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
That's really cool.
And there's like he's cleaning off a little girls and she says, "My name's Mary." And the name like on the thing is Mary. And then he's cleaning another one off. It was an adult named John. He goes, "Yep, I'm John." And he's like, "Oh, that's my name too." And like the spirit says something else. Like, it's insane. Like, I always think that there's not spirits necessarily in a graveyard unless they're like wandering or lost.
Well, I'm sure I
but
think of spirits like how I think of people. Like sometimes they're here, sometimes they're there. Sometimes
as in the
they're
day,
near, sometimes they're far,
all the things.
They probably, I mean, like, in life, we don't like to be stagnant and stay in the same place. It gets boring.
Yeah.
They're probably like, let me see what's going on and where my body's laying to rest. I don't know.
As in life,
let
as
me
in death, I
see
guess.
what my ex is doing. Let me, let me check up on my kids. I have no idea what that noise was, but
That
probably a ghost because we're
sounded like
talking
your
about
cat.
ghosts. Oh, we don't know. We don't know what's going on ever.
Okay. Well,
all right.
See you. No, that's your line.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Don't be one.
Bye.
Bye.